You want to just get into it?
Yeah, let's go.
Also, wait, no, sorry. Let's talk for like 5 minutes about this. Mitchell told me.
Oh yeah, yeah. He told me that he was going to tell you.
He wants to announce it on the podcast.
I mean, he checked with Holly and she was fine with it, so it is what it is, right?
I know before his parents.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was funny. They called us one night and or they just texted one night. They were like, "Hey, do you guys want to play Mario Party tonight?" And we were just like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" Like that's a normal thing. And then we were just chatting, and Mitch was like, "What are y'all doing in August?" I was like, "In August?" I was like, "I mean, we're going on vacation. That's like I mean, that's a while away." He was like, "Yeah, we're just wanting to know what you guys are doing in 9 months." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And then Ellen was like, "Oh my gosh!" And I was like, "Wait, what?" So it's really funny because for years, ever since I've known Mitch, anytime one of our friends has gotten married, he's always joked that they're gonna get pregnant like on their wedding night, and it never happened to anyone, but it happened to him.
Just so funny.
Yeah, that sucks that he's not gonna be able to make it. I mean, he might be able to, but
yeah,
obviously, he'll have other things that he'll need to do. But that's pretty cool. The first PRFF baby.
I don't know. What I would really love for somebody to also announce theirs this year, and now those two children will be like.
Well, I mean, we haven't finished my podcast yet, so.
Oh!
I'm kidding.
Welcome to the PRFFP, the podcast showcasing the films and the directors of the Party Room Film Festival. This week's guest directed End of the Bloodline, Metal Weird Solid, and Game Night. Please welcome Party Room Film Festival winner, Samuel Maddox. Sam, how are you, man?
Hey, how's it going? Good to be back on the PRFFP. It's an honor.
Let's just get into it. The council... I've been saying this all season. The council dropped the ball. They didn't assign they didn't assign the matchups, and they didn't assign categories either. Those were all basically chosen by us. What were your first reactions to getting to choose your category?
I thought that was a pretty cool idea. First of all, I want to say, welcome to the dropping the ball category committee. I can join me in that. I'm glad you didn't choke on your water there. So yeah.
Oh my god, you're quick. You're on it today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, yeah. So what but no, yeah, that was cool. Whenever whenever it was, I had a bit of an advantage having Zach as my head-to-head this year. So we were able to pretty quickly get in contact with each other, and we threw a lot of ideas back and forth. And I knew with Zach, I was like, man, we're gonna come up with something crazy. Mm-hmm. And so we were going through different things. I think we were thinking a few of the ones we passed back and forth may have been best murder or best horror film or best plot twist or whatever. Or we ended up. I was like, what about most likely to be made by M. Night Shyamalan? Because I wanted to do something different. I didn't want to do best use of the color blue, something like that. I wanted to do something weird and something that I knew was right up mine and Zach's alley. And so when I was like, oh, Zach and I both like horror movies. We both like M. Night Shyamalan, or as much as one can. So I pitched it, and then he was just like, yeah, that's it. And it was really interesting because we both kind of had ideas already of what we wanted to do. And so it was really interesting, kind of seeing, or at least hearing other people talk about the ideas that they were having, because I feel like people that already had ideas were trying to, cater the category towards their idea. But Zach and I both had ideas that were kind of similar in a way. And so it worked out perfectly.
So obviously you got to choose your own category. You saw that coming, but tell me a little bit about your reactions to your actor, the prop, and the line.
Well, I was pretty... I mean, you get Zach, so, that's pretty awesome. Zach's great to have in anyone's film. I don't know the actual stat. I had to go to Matt for this, but Zach is probably one that's featured in most films, or he's probably up there. But no, Zach's very charismatic, and he's a pretty good actor too. So when I got him, I was like, that's awesome. But it was a little like, oh man, because I already knew I was gonna have a hard time beating Zach in anything that we do because he's
Mhm.
Zach. He's a good filmmaker. He's a good director. He's got all these crazy ideas, and I suck. I mean, let's be real. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just throwing. I mean, I don't suck, but I mean, I'm just throwing random ideas together. I don't have the skills or the technology skills or editing skills or just even as good ideas as Zach does a lot of the time. Um, but so I knew I was kind of at a disadvantage there that he was kind of going to know what my film was going to be like. Um, but I feel like with the idea that I did have, I had a perfect role for him. So I feel like I got a really good actor there going with Zach because he was perfect for the butler in my
Yes,
I was just like, just do your best Tim Curry, and he was perfect.
that was the direction that you gave him for his character.
Yep. Yeah, I was just like, just be Tim Curry, and he was like, all right, I can do that, and he did.
What I love about your film is how well cast it is. Because you have all of the different characters, but like, let's be honest, Zach, like, I don't know if you've ever played literally any game with Zach, but he really does take on this weird persona.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I've played werewolf with him. Jeez, I've played werewolf with him many times, and he just takes on this other, I don't know, personality
Yeah.
where he just goes, the night falls and the town falls asleep. And it's just, whenever I realized what his role was, I was like, oh, this is going to be amazing.
Mm-hmm. No, Zach's. I mean, like I said before, he's a really good actor. He's charismatic, and he goes at it. He's a versatile dude.
Mhm.
So he's the jack of all trades.
The line that we had this year definitely lent itself well to your film. But tell me a
Yeah.
little bit about the prop and what were your initial reactions to a Nickelback
I,
CD?
I want to go back to what you said about the cast just real quick. The cast, and thank you for that. The cast was like pretty perfectly done. Um, I originally had Jacob Adam written in as a part. I needed a lot of people for my movie, and I wasn't really sure if I could get that many people. So it ended up actually working out just fine because Jacob Adam had to drop out, and so then I moved. I can't remember what I did. I had Zach as, or no, I had Jacob cast as Senior Verde at first, but then when he dropped out,
Interesting.
because I was just gonna have Matt Stice just like helping me on the side because I feel like I use him a lot, and I don't want to like, I know he's already busy with all his films, so I didn't want to like make him do more than I already asked him to do because he does a lot for me, and I didn't want to like burden him with that.
Yeah,
But
but
it worked out perfect.
he's the Bruce Campbell to your Sam Raimi.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but yeah, I mean, he obviously, Matt's awesome. He's a great friend, and Zach told me that Jacob wasn't gonna be able to do it. I was like, okay, so I'm gonna have to maneuver a little bit. The reason I didn't want him in it at first was just because I had so many people, and I knew that I was gonna need like an extra person just helping me like shoot it, keep track of it, and whatnot. And I already had that part kind of written in for me myself because as M Night Shyamalan fans know, the director always makes a cameo in his films. So I had to put myself in it, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna have Matt Stice do help me with the filming stuff like that. So that's why I didn't originally have him cast. And then when Jacob Adam dropped out, I was like, I don't know who else to talk to. I don't know who else I could get to do this. I didn't really want to ask someone like outside of the nerd circle, just because it's more fun just to have the guys. But ultimately, obviously, I moved Matt to Senior Verde, which was a perfect casting.
Yep.
And then Zach is the butler, and everything worked out. Ellen was great as Mrs. Light. That's pretty much who she is. Josiah was a moron, which that's I don't want to say that's what he's like, but that was good. He played that part really well. And then Mitch was obnoxious, and that's great. And then Melissa as the parrot, like, I mean, she was a trooper. That mask was awful. It smelled. It was hard to see out of. She could hardly breathe, but she powered her way through it. But yeah, so the casting was really good, and they all did a great job.
The line lent itself well
Yeah,
to
it did.
your film, but the prop, I mean, not necessarily the best murder weapon. Tell me a little bit
Right.
about that.
So the line did cater pretty well. As soon as I heard the line, I was like, okay, I kind of know I'm gonna do a murder mystery type thing, so I'll find a way to put that in. That's not gonna be a problem. So I just whatever, that's gonna be fine. The prop, I was like, okay, I don't really know what to do with a Nickelback CD because I thought a lot of people would just like put the Nickelback CD in a stereo and play it or something. I didn't want to do that. Um, that's people didn't actually do that much, which was surprising. So, but I knew it was like, okay, if I'm going to do this idea that I have, the Nickelback CD has to be the murder weapon, and it's not a murder weapon of any sort. But who cares? It's PRFF. It can be the murder weapon. So I knew I was going to kind of do like Clue, something like that, and I was like, all right, the Nickelback CD can just be one of the items, and then we'll just go with it. We'll figure it out.
So just then you said that whenever you heard the line, you knew you wanted to do a murder mystery. Tell me a little bit about I mean, obviously M. Night Shyamalan, it doesn't matter.
Shyamalan. Who cares?
Obviously M. Night was an inspiration for this film, but how did you settle on the game night as a concept?
So I actually before it was before we got the line, I had the idea of doing like a murder mystery, like dinner murder mystery party, whatever, something like that. I I was kind of floating around a couple other ideas that I'll keep quiet on because put them in the back pocket for later. But uh,
Absolutely.
Ellen's sister went to like a dinner, like a murder mystery dinner party one night, and I was like, oh, that'd be fun. That and like the few nights before, like we just watched the Bob's Burgers episode where they put on a murder mystery dinner party at the restaurant. So I was like, okay, that could be something fun to do. And then I was talking to Mitch one night about the idea and had the idea there. I was like, well, if I'm going to do this, I might as well make it Clue because that would make it bigger. 'Cause otherwise, you're just kind of putting random people in a room together, and there's not much to it. But giving them like the Clue ripoff, makes it a little bigger, makes it a little bit more interesting. Um, and then the idea just went from there. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do, what's like, Colonel Mustard, like, Captain Condiment or Colonel Condiment, whatever.
Mhm.
And then, Professor Dumb instead of Professor Plum, that works perfectly. And so it just kind of, the idea started rolling. I was like, okay, like I got something going. This would be good. And then, yeah, that's where it came from.
Many of the callouts were made as a joke last year. I started these rivalries, but then it got revealed that that call out would be your actual opponent for the year. What were your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't want to say I regretted it because, like I said, Zach, Zach's going to be a tough competition for anybody. Um, but I thought it was pretty cool that was kind of how it played out. Zach, like I said on the podcast last year, like the reason I called out Zach is because he's going to go all out. And what do you know? He won the Golden Dewey, or no, he didn't. Well, he would have won the Golden Dewey had he submitted on time. Um,
Probably
so
true.
Matt, give props where it's due. Matt Stice won the Golden Dewey. But I feel like in calling out Zach, I contributed to the success of his film. I don't think he would have done as good if I didn't call him out big time. So Zach, you're welcome. That's another call out.
He wants a rematch.
Yeah. But yeah, as soon as that's what they announced, I was like, man, I have no shot.
You had this initial idea before the video came out, before all of that. Tell me, when did you start working, like script, casting, shooting, editing? Just give me a general timeline.
I think I wrote the script maybe the second or third week of June. I knew that I wasn't going to have enough time, or I knew I wasn't going to be able to get it done early because this is why having a lot of people, especially in a film where I had to have them all in the same room together. That's going to be hard to get that many people in the same room at the same time. So I think we were gonna do like the next to last week of July for shooting, but we ended up having to do like the week, I think the last week, I can't remember. But we ended up shooting really late. So I knew I had a lot of time in June just to kind of put together my script and figure out when a good shooting date would be. And then I think I ended up having like a week to edit it. But yeah, so I wrote the script in June. I think I had like a Saturday morning or something where I just sat and, busted the script out. It was 5 pages. It was pretty easy. It took me 4 or 5 hours to get that done. So it didn't take me too long.
And then filming in a day, probably.
Yeah, so the filming day, that was a lot of fun. So originally we were gonna shoot part of Mitch's film when he came down. Because I think, well, Landers had to be in his, but the film that Mitch did, featured me and Ellen pretty heavily.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna shoot some of his up there in Ohio, and then he needed to shoot some down here. So they came down for a weekend or whatever. So I think that morning of that Saturday, whatever day it was, we shot some of his, and then I think I had everybody get to my house at about 3 o'clock that afternoon. But it was, man, it was hot. Like it was really hot outside. So it was like 95, 98 degrees, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I say that is because I needed the inside to be dark for the shot where Ellen has the Christmas lights on, Zach
Mm-hmm.
shuts the lights off, and the Christmas lights are still on. You got that little scene where she's like moving around, trying to get entangled.
Yeah.
That wasn't going to work in the daytime. Originally, I wanted to shoot at night, so I wouldn't have to deal with that, but that wasn't possible. We got black trash bags, put them on the windows, just blacked out the place, and man, it was really hot. I mean, it probably got up to like 100 and something in the living room. We were sweating. I had the fan on the whole time, and it didn't work. Um, yeah, it was pretty miserable, but that was, everybody was, really, really good about it. Um, Shooting probably took 3.5 hours maybe, and then I made a big dinner for everybody. Yeah, just about 3 hours of shooting, and then dinner afterwards. We played some games, hung out. It was fun.
Yep. See, like I said last year, if you act in Sam's film, you will get fed so well.
Exactly. Yeah. What did I make? I think I made like pulled pork and uh well, we had like salsa and something else. I can't remember. Josiah and Melissa brought a cake. I think Melissa made what was it? Oh, I can't remember the name of it. I'm sorry, Melissa. She's probably not even gonna listen to this.
No,
Um
she won't. No, she won't.
she yeah, no. She made a cake that was really good. Um yeah, it was pretty good time.
Earlier, you said that most of these characters were inspired by the Clue characters, or they're like one letter off.
Mhm.
Was that for all of the characters, or did you have any that were just you thought would be funny?
What do you mean? So like you
Like,
mean like any
what was I mean, did you have any that weren't based on a Clue character that you were just like, I don't know, uh
No, I mean, I kind of had. I mean, it's pretty easy to come up with, aliases for all of them, if you will. So,
mhm,
they either like rhyme with the clue name or they have something else to do with it. So like Ellen, Mrs. Light, that's Mrs. White, the maid.
mhm,
Um, and then you got Josiah, Professor Dumb, Professor Plum. That's pretty clear. Matt, Mr. Green, I didn't really know what to do with that, and I didn't want to get like too racist with it. But I was just like, I don't really know what else to do with Mr. Green, so I was just like, Senior Verde, that would be funny. I was give him a mustache and a jalapeno. And then Miss Scarlet, I think that might have been the hardest one to come up with because I didn't really know what to do with that. So I was just like Miss Scarf. I mean, that's close enough. I can wrap her in scarves, you know. So that's what we did, and then Colonel Mustard, Captain Condiment, Colonel Condiment, whatever. I can't even remember what I called him honestly.
yeah.
And then Miss Peacock, let's just make her a parrot, put a parrot head on her. So it was pretty easy to come up with most of them. And then it gives them personality too. So uh, it just kind of worked out that way where the different ideas that I came up with were also things that I could contribute to their personality, which I thought really helped just the entertainment value of the film.
I'm going to, for lack of a better word, try to cancel you here. So you're telling me that you had all of your actors in like a super hot room, but yet all of the women had to suffocate in the heat of a mask or a scarf or the chance of being electrocuted?
You know what? You got me there. I don't have an explanation for that. I'll just
That's
say
not okay, Sam.
I'll just say that the women of Nerd, the women of PRFF, they are amazing and they deserve all the credit in the world. That's all I can say. I didn't even think of it that way, so I don't know. Zach was wearing a suit the whole time, so that got pretty warm. Mitch was also wearing a suit that got kind of warm. Matt was holding a jalapeno. Those are hot. So I don't know. No, yeah, I don't know. So yeah, so Ellen was complaining, with having the lights on. When they were actually on, she said that it was really warm. So, we basically had them unplugged the whole time, except for the one scene where she had to have them on. But no, she was the only one that complained. Holly did not complain at all. Well, no, Melissa complained a little bit, but that's okay.
You're just calling your wife out like that. Oh my god.
I mean, she's not gonna listen to this, so
That's very true.
But no, they're all troopers. So,
but to your wife's credit, I don't know what it is. I mean, your film clocks in at 5:24 on YouTube anyway, so that means that there are at least 2 minutes where we could have just watched her try to untangle herself from Christmas lights. I could have watched that for 5 minutes. I don't know why, but I think it's really funny. I don't know why. I just really like that scene.
Okay, good. Yeah, good. Now, so that scene was inspired by Matt's Beauty of PRFF. So I love the Beauty of PRFF video. Like, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I'll just pull it up and watch it just because it's cool, it gets me excited. I knew that I didn't have, like, working in a small space of my living room, I knew I wasn't gonna really have anything, like any iconic shots like the pants dropping scene from End of the Bloodline, or
the
the
pants dropping scene from Metal Weird Solid.
I don't think that one made the cut. Or like the Landers, the water getting thrown up in the window. One of the most iconic shots in the history of PRFF. I knew I wasn't going to have anything like that, so I was trying to come up with something that would be different, that I thought would look cool. I didn't really know what to expect it to look like. But I did think that was a lot of fun, and it turned out a lot better than I thought it was going to. It never turns out how you picture it or how you imagine it, but it did look really cool. I was really glad that you could still see, the looks on people's faces. I was a little worried that the lights weren't going to be bright enough, but it worked out, and yeah, it was a really fun scene to shoot. I wanted to make it longer, but I didn't. I think I got a couple extra shots of that just didn't really fit with the style of the rest of the film, because there were some quicker movement shots and stuff, and it just didn't, with the way the pace of the rest of it, I was like, nah, it just doesn't really work. Yeah. But no, I'm glad you enjoyed that. That's a little weird that you could sit and watch that for 5 minutes, but I'm glad you liked it as much as you did.
I don't know what it is. I mean, like, it's the reactions of people just watching confused. It's the Sugar Plum Fairy style music. Like, I don't know what it is. I just really like that scene for some reason.
Yeah. Well, the music, I ripped it off all from the Clue film.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, all the music is from the original Clue movie.
I mean, now that you're saying that, I want to go ahead and ask. The original Clue movie had, I believe, 3 different endings. Are there alternate endings to your film?
That's a great question. No, there are not. I'm not that creative. I mean, what more ending do you really need other than knowing that Andrew King's the next guy to get killed by Senor Verde? I mean, how are you going to get more satisfying than that?
Well, I do want to address that. So the next is Andrew King, but at the bottom of the paper, you can make out a few little scribbles.
Oh, yeah?
And it looks like it says Moose. Am I correct in that?
Yes, you are correct. Yeah. Yeah,
Does it really?
It says moose. Yeah, good eye. Good eye. So Andrew, you're next, and then after Andrew's gone, then we're just gonna take out all moose.
Suck it, moose.
That's a good eye. Nice catch on that. This is a safe place to share this, I guess. Because
Sure.
how many of the women do you think are actually going to listen to this?
I think I don't know why.
So I had to do some checking in with the committee before making my film because
Mhm.
I didn't want to offend anybody. So you already called me out. You called me out earlier for putting the women in my film in uncomfortable positions with the lights and the scarves and the parrot mask. So I checked with Andrew because originally what I wanted to do. So Holly had been asking to just be killed. She was just like, if I want to be in your film, I want to die. Like, please kill me. I hope that doesn't get taken out of context, but yeah, Holly was just asking to be in a film, and she wanted to die, and I was like, okay,
So
I
you,
can do that
so
easily.
you're saying she was asking for it?
She
How
was. She
dare
literally was. So, okay, so what my original ending was gonna be. So you got Holly's name at the top, gets crossed out
Mhm.
with the jalapeno pen. And then what I was gonna do was the list was gonna be every nerd wife or girlfriend. So yeah, for obvious reasons, I had to check with the committee about that because I was just like, this would be really funny, and the guys would think it was funny, but I don't know if the women would find it as funny. And
Nope.
so I texted Andrew and I told him, I was just like, Andrew, uh, do you think I could get away with doing a joke about killing the nerd wives? And he was just like, yeah, no, don't do that. And I was like, okay, I've got a backup plan. Andrew, you're the backup plan. So yeah, so hopefully none of the nerd wives hear that and get offended. But that was the original idea.
Mhm.
It's a little behind the scenes. So that could be one of the alternate endings, if you will, but guess we're never gonna see that.
I love that so much. I'm so happy about that. Sorry, I'm just reeling from the joy that I feel with that revelation.
That's a little weird, but okay.
I don't know. I just think it's a
The
really
joy of our wives and all the nerd wives dying. I mean, let's be real. That's okay. No, I was gonna say that's the dream. It's not really the dream, but we all want to reminisce on the days of before the nerd wives came into our lives, and it was just us guys on the hall. But no, we are very grateful for our female counterparts. Um, yeah, we're glad to have
Sam
them
is
around.
Sam is canceled. That's it.
I'm digging myself a hole.
Okay. Let me look at my list. All right, my only complaint with the film is as game master, Zach shouldn't expose Senior Verde as the killer. That's just bad game managing. Can you explain that?
Well, you see, so the whole thing is planned. So it's really, I mean, it's M. Night Shyamalan. You really expect it to make any sense. So Zach is just trying to keep the game going.
Mhm.
Um, so he's trying to get everybody involved. That's what the game master does. So he had to bring in Senior Verde at some point. So the idea. I mean, I don't really have much more of an explanation than that.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, like Zach is in on it. The director, me, I'm in on it. Senior Verde's in on it. But it's just part of the guys. GUISE guys, not GUIS. But I mean, that's just part of it. I mean, you could chalk it up to bad writing if you want. That's fine. That's probably a more accurate description of what happened there. But if we're going for most likely to be made by M. Night Shyamalan, you got to put some bad writing in there.
Fair enough.
I'm just gonna blame all my film errors on M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, I mean
I was just trying to emulate him.
it's a good scapegoat, man. It's really good. So whenever we pull out the first time, whenever we break the fourth wall and it gets revealed that the murder was a part of the film, you tell Mitch that he
Forgot the mayonnaise pun.
Yeah, what mayonnaise puns was he supposed to have? What was he supposed to say?
There was no mayonnaise pun. It was just a throwaway line. I mean, I just needed something to give direction on, and the director's just got to give director's notes. There was never any mayonnaise pun. I mean, how are you going to come up with a pun about mayonnaise?
I know, right?
Do you have mayonnaise puns prepared? I'd love it if you did.
Of course I do. Somebody could have he could have looked at Matt, because his fiance at the time had just died. He could have looked at Matt and said, "What the hell, mans?"
That would have been good. I was actually just thinking that, like, as you were saying that would have been funny.
Somebody could have said something funny and Mitchell could have said LMAO.
Oh man, that's bad.
What?
Oh, that's
bad.
Come on. That's
what?
bad. That is bad. That's not good.
Okay. Whenever like Mitchell could have been like thinking about things out loud and somebody would have said, how do you know so much? Mitchell could have said that he had sauces helping him, like sauces.
Okay, I take it back. The LMA was good. That was bad. Sauces. Mayonnaise isn't even a sauce.
Just let me have it, okay?
Oh, no. Mayonnaise isn't a sauce. Come on.
All right, but I get points for that. What the hellmans? Come on.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. No, I should have, I mean, it wouldn't have been part of the film anyway. So, what's the point of writing one if you're not going to use it, I guess.
I mean,
but
just
no,
think
that's good. That's good. Maybe in an extended cut one day. Maybe, the final film. Of course, it wouldn't make sense to do it again because if these people have left the party after witnessing a murder, then they're not going to come back.
Well, I think that you need to readopt the original ending of killing all of the nerd wives because eventually, who is left? Eventually, they're all going to get married. So we're going to need those women are going to need to die, according to Sam Maddox, not to Jacob McLeod.
No, I did not say that. Yeah, no, I think I don't know. I mean, I don't think that's going to come up with like the Sam Maddox rule, like no joking about killing the women. I don't think we need that, but I'm gonna let the committee do their thing, do what they want to do. If that's something they want to enforce, go for it. But I did not break any rules. I don't think I set the grounds for any new rules to be set. So,
Rule 3 of the Party Room Film Festival: leave moms and leave wives out of it.
I think wives are fair game if they're willing to participate.
Fair enough. I like that. What other notes would the director Sam have given if you didn't realize Holly was dead?
Matt, like you're supposed to say your lines in Spanish this time, or what I wanted to do. This is kind of going off track a little bit. What I wanted to do was have Senor Verde say everything in Spanish and just put subtitles, but I really didn't want to take the time to, one, learn all the Spanish and have the actor learn the Spanish, and then two, put the subtitles up on the screen. Mm-hmm. Or I could have just like done something totally racist and inappropriate and just had him say like random like Spanish words that don't mean anything and just put up whatever I wanted, but wasn't gonna do that. Wow, this is not a
getting canceled.
Yeah, like I'm killing the women. I'm putting them in uncomfortable work situations. I'm being racist.
This is the best episode. My ratings are going through the roof.
Oh my gosh, I might be banned next year. I might be the first person to get banned for a year.
We all thought that Mitchell would be the first one to get canceled, let's be honest, but for some reason you just really want to do it.
Well.
Speaking of Mitchell, so Mitchell was more upset about Holly's death in the game than he was when Holly died in real life. Like, whenever he finds out that his wife is actually dead, he just goes, "Come on, guys, let's leave." Like, he doesn't.
Yeah. So that was something that I just kind of thought was funny. Like, I thought it would be more funny if like the people in the film, in the movie that was being shot in the film, it'd be more funny if they were overreacting to her death, and then once they find out she's really dead, they're just like, "What? Okay, whatever. Let's just go." Um, that was a decision that I made that I just thought was funnier. If it landed, if it didn't land, I don't know, but I thought that was funny. That's what I wanted them to do, was underreact to the real news that she actually is dead, and then just leave after that.
Obviously, we end on the cliffhanger that next on Matt Stice's list is that he needs to kill Andrew King. Who do you think would win in a fight between Matt Stice and Andrew King?
Let's see. I don't know. Do they have any weapons, or is it just like one-on-one?
One-on-one
Mano a mano.
fisticuffs.
I'd probably have to give it to Andrew, honestly. I mean, Andrew's a little bulkier than Matt. I don't think Matt's much of a fighter. And plus, I think Andrew's got a little bit more crazy than Matt. So I think Andrew would win in that fight.
Well, that brings me to the Party Room Film Festival mini game. Who would win in a fight?
Who would win in a fight? Sam edition. Okay, let's do it.
Ellen, I would love your input on this too, if you would like. Definitely do not have to. But Sam, I want to know who would win in a fight, you or a rhino?
Oh gosh, definitely a rhino. I mean, I stand no chance. I mean, that would stab me right through my giant stomach.
Pretty quick and simple. Sam, who would win in a fight, you or Syndrome?
Syndrome from The Incredibles. No superpowers. Basically Iron Man rich, I think.
I think he's rich.
He's a dweeb. I mean, he's got red hair. He has no chance. He's a loser. I'd punch him right in the face. He'd go crying home to his mom or asking Mr. Incredible to save him, and Mr. Incredible would just kick him and be like, "Shut up, kid." Yeah, I'd kick his butt. He sucks.
All right. If we look at the scoreboard real quick, Sam is calling out women, Hispanics, and redheads. Just
yep. I'm just gonna keep trying to get myself canceled.
You beat Syndrome. All right. Sam, you versus Archibald Asparagus.
Oh, let's see. He's in his 40s. He wears a monocle. He's a pretty good dancer. He is a pretty good dancer. Well, I might have to call this a draw because I do like asparagus. I do really enjoy asparagus. It's pretty tasty, but I hate the way it makes my pee smell afterwards. So I think in that sense, like, you might want to give some points to Archibald for, the comeback after death, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd have to say that's a draw. I'd eat him, but he'd make my pee smell. I don't like that.
No draws. Who wins?
Well, I mean, if I eat him, then I win.
There we go. All right, Sam, who wins in a fight, you or the Count?
The Count. Never seen him murder anybody, but that doesn't mean it hasn't happened. Sharp teeth and can turn into a bat. Well, I mean, he's made of just cloth, so I can just rip him in half. Count that.
So you can do that, but not a mayonnaise pun. All right. Sam, you versus Eric Cartman.
Oh, he sucks. I'd smash his little butt. He's so annoying. I honestly don't even know if I'd fight him. He's just so annoying. He might beat me because I just walk away. I'd kick him.
Sam, you versus Gaston.
Oh, no, I'd get killed. Gaston would destroy me. I'd sing a song. I'd probably start singing a song with him, and then he'd, like, slit my throat. But he is the, I don't know, the best Disney villain of all time, but he's got the best villain song of any,
that's for sure.
Any Disney villain. I love it.
Wait,
I'd happily lose to him.
You put Gaston, you put that over Scar's Be Prepared from The Lion King?
I would, just because,
Wow.
I don't know. I just like Gaston. He's arrogant, he's cocky, and that's just, I don't know. I like it.
And I forgot to write down, but he is roughly the size of a barge. So
he is, yeah.
All right, Sam, you versus Abraham Lincoln.
Ooh, I can't kill Abraham Lincoln. Especially, I mean, he's a vampire slayer. Like, I'm not gonna. I mean, he's one of the greatest presidents of all time. I'm not gonna kill Abraham Lincoln. Of
So
course, I mean, if
you
you're
can,
talking like, is he alive when we fight? Because I wouldn't do that. But if he's already dead, then I'd win.
yes, he is alive when y'all fight.
Okay, yeah, no, I wouldn't. No, I mean, he'd kill me. He's a big guy.
Fair enough.
Two
All right.
fellow Kentuckians going to fight the Kentucky Civil War. You call that one.
All right. Sam versus Jason Momoa.
I mean, probably him. I mean, he's a pretty awful actor, but he's a pretty, muscular guy. So
Mm-hmm.
I just based on that alone, I'd say that he would win.
Nice. All right. Sam versus Solid Snake.
Ooh, I would stand no chance. Wait, why does it say Solid Snake has a dog? He
Because
doesn't.
did you get the dog though? Did you get the dog?
Oh my gosh.
Hey Sam, do you have the dog?
Oh my gosh. So that wasn't actually Solid Snake. So that was Metal Gear Solid 5, and that was Big Boss, not Solid Snake. But
Well, I said in
but
the penultimate bullet point that you know more than I would about this.
I did, yeah. Yeah, so he's good with guns, good with sword. No, he doesn't actually use swords, sneak attacks and whatnot. Yeah, stealthy.
Yeah, I unfortunately think that in that situation, he would probably just sneak up behind you and slit your throat.
Yeah, probably. I mean, he'd choke me to death. No, Solid Snake. I would die in a. I don't want to say in a heartbeat because he'd probably make it long and drawn out. But no, I would not beat Solid Snake in a fight. I wouldn't even try to beat Solid Snake in a fight.
Sam, you versus the Philly Fanatic.
I don't know what the Philly Fanatic has up his sleeve. Plus, he's from Philly, so I think he's got the edge there.
Yeah, he's basically a cartoon character. I wouldn't be surprised if he just like had a chainsaw or something like that.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you're giving that to him?
Yeah. Philly Fanatic can take that one.
All right. The next one has some Sam on Sam violence. Sam, you or Sam Raimi?
He's the guy that did the first 3 Spider-Mans with Tobey Maguire, right?
Yep. Friends with Bruce Campbell?
I don't know. He looks like a bit of a dweeb. I could probably beat him. We're about the same. I'm 2 inches taller and about 20 pounds heavier, so
Yeah, I couldn't find anything interesting to put. But maybe he owns a sword or something.
Maybe.
All right, Sam, you versus Tony the Tiger.
Let's see. Super strong, super fast, agility, immune to electricity because of his electric stripes. Is that a thing? I don't think that's a thing.
I think it is.
7 feet, 303 pounds. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, no. He'd destroy me.
I mean, also he's a tiger, so
That too, yeah.
All right, Sam versus Zacchaeus.
He was a wee little man, and a wee little man was he. Height and weight unknown, but it is said that he is a wee little man. So maybe imagine Andrew King, but in a tree. Good at climbing trees and collecting taxes. I'd kick his butt. He's a tiny little dude.
All right, and last one, Sam, who would win in a fight, you or the Undertaker?
I mean, I don't really have to think about that one that much. I mean, it's me, obviously. I'd beat him. No, he'd tombstone me and probably kill me in the process. So, Undertaker.
Fair enough. All right, well, thank you so much for playing Would You Win in a Fight?
That was fun.
If time or budget wasn't an issue, what would be different?
Oh gosh. I definitely would have done better with the sound. I probably would have, not the budget really was an issue. I definitely would have gotten like a microphone or something and done more with the sound, done better sound editing. Maybe paid someone off to do my sound editing like some of us do.
We almost got through this interview without you saying anything.
No, I mean the sound wasn't that great in my film. I mean, mostly it was Josiah that you couldn't hear, but that's not his fault. That was just mine. I was standing way too far away from him. I could have done better with that. I don't know. I mean, yeah, there's always more that you could do. I probably would have bought better costumes. I definitely would have bought better costumes. I would have bought a sombrero for Matt. I don't know. I mean, probably more into the production value. Like if I could actually spend money on making it look better and sound better, I would have done that. But yeah, it could have been better. But in time, I do wish that I had a little bit more time to edit. Like I said, working with that many people, it's kind of hard to get everyone together, especially when they all have to be in the same room to do it. Which I just had a little more time because I think I had about a week to edit it, which I got it in I think a couple days before the deadline. But having a little bit more time to edit it, put better finishing touches on it, maybe give me a little bit more time to get some better audio stuff. I don't know, but yeah, I definitely think that I could have improved on it more.
Okay. Rate. Excuse me, that was gross. I'm sorry. Rate years 1, 2, and 3. Like, which one do you think was your best work, second best, and third best?
Oh well, I mean, obviously, End of the Bloodline is my best. I mean it's iconic. It's End of the Bloodline. Metal Wear Solid is a close second in my opinion. I love Metal Wear Solid. It was a lot of fun to do. Like I said in last year's podcast, it was the first idea that I had come up with originally for PRFF. But I mean, End of the Bloodlines is too classic. You had to put it number one. I mean, it's amazing. It's number one. Metal Wear Solid's a close two. You could maybe do like a 1A, 1B. But yeah, Game Night. I mean, Game Night doesn't come anywhere close to those two. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It wasn't probably not my best work. I am really interested to hear what people have to say about it after listening to this podcast because I went up to Andrew at one point after the festival and we were talking about our films, and we were both just like, yeah, like nobody's really said anything to us about our films unless we brought it up. So I don't want to like guilt people into it because I mean, really, let's be honest, there wasn't really a whole lot to say about my film. But I do think the good thing about Game Night, is I think it has that effect where you have to go back and watch it a few times to catch more stuff. Because in a bigger setting, there's, like I said, the audio is not great, so you probably couldn't hear some things over some of the laughter that was coming in. But I mean, I rewatched it right before we hopped on this call, and I think it's pretty funny. I mean, there's a lot of like one-liners in there and like little things that you probably wouldn't catch the first time. So yeah, I'm proud of it. I mean, it's not, like I said, it wasn't my best work, but I do think that it's got some pretty funny dialogue, some pretty funny moments. I was pretty proud of the twist that I put in of she's dead, but she's not really dead. It was actually just a film the whole time. Oh wait, she's actually dead. Yeah, I was really proud of that, and I thought that was funny. It's just when your film's getting compared to Zach's All Night, that's really hard to do because Kill Happy was incredible.
Yeah, he was a tryhard this year.
I mean, he killed it. I mean, he was awesome. But no, yeah, I mean, so End of the Bloodline, Metal Weird Solid, and then Game Night. Game Night's a little not that close to the other two, but like I said, so proud of it. Interested to hear what people have to say.
See, that was surprising to me. I thought Metal Weird Solid would have been your number one just because it was a passion project for you.
I think I said that last year on last year's podcast. But the more I think about it, I mean, it's Into the Bloodline. It's number one. It was fun. It added a lot to the festival. It's got a legacy. So you got to give the film that has the legacy.
Mm. And then how I can't believe that like I didn't bring this up. You talked about some funny moments from your film. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, how many mustard crackers did Mitchell Judy have to eat?
I think he only ate 3, and poor Ellen. Just you can add this to the list of awful things that I did. Poor Ellen hates condiments and just like big amounts of them, and you could probably blame Mitchell on this, but he was putting like huge globs of mustard on that cracker. Um, there was one time when I can't remember exactly the line that he said there, but there was one time where he had the cracker and all that mustard on it, and then he said part of his line and then ate the cracker and then didn't say the rest of his line, or he said the line wrong, and then like we just kind of let him do it, and then we just kind of paused for a second, and I was just like, all right, cut, Mitch, you didn't say the line right, so we got to do it again.
Tell me a little bit about your voting criteria. Like, what boxes need to be checked in order to earn your vote? For example, Andrew has made it well known that he won't vote for films that are late. So what are something that a film needs to have to earn your vote?
It's gotta be funny for one. I'm probably not gonna vote for a serious film unless it's just like Oscar worthy, which let's be honest, that's not gonna happen. I don't care who you are, Mitch. You're not gonna make an Oscar worthy film with your phone. But no, it's gotta be funny. It's gotta be memorable. It's gotta. I don't know. I mean, those are very arbitrary things, but I think to me, it's like just whatever I feel like was like the funniest overall, or just like the best. I don't know. I mean, I'm not like I said. The big thing, like I'm not gonna vote for anything serious. It's got to be funny. It has to be funny. It's got to have big moments. It's got to be iconic. Just have that feel. Like game night, you watch it. It's not an iconic film, but like Bargain Batman or Kill Happy, you're just like, yeah, like this is an iconic one. You just know. I mean, like some films, you just know that they're legendary. I mean, we had like every film this year was great. But like Kill Happy and Bargain Batman were just a step above the rest of them. I mean, they just have that iconic feel to them. They're memorable. I don't really want to say quotable because I don't remember quotes from a lot of the films, but they just have that feel to them when you watch it. You're like, man, this is what this festival is about.
Absolutely. We talked a little bit about the actors that we have or who we want as an actor. Tell me, whose film do you want to act for? And then it's kind of a two-parter. Is there a character you want to play?
I'd like to be in Paul's film. I think, Paul's a really good director, and Paul has really good ideas. If he wants to put me in his film, great. Like, I'd probably bring down the quality of it with my bad acting. But I think it'd be fun to be in his. It'd be fun to be in Andrew's. I mean, anybody really, like, anybody that wants to cast me, like, I'm down. I can't promise you good quality acting, but I can promise you a fun time. And that's what it's all about. But yeah, I don't know if there's any characters that I'd want to play. It'd be fun to be a bad guy in someone's film.
Last year, I started a lot of rivalries. This year, I want to start partnerships. If you could have a tag team partner, who would you choose? The only stipulation is that it can't be Mitchell.
Yeah, I mean, that was going to be the easy answer there.
Yeah, no.
I mean, cop out answer. Like, it'd be fun to work with anyone. It's always fun to work. It's always fun to work with Matt. I've worked with Matt a lot though on pretty much all my films. It'd be a lot of fun to be on be one of Andrew's films, be one of Trevor. Work with Trevor. Either of them, anybody really, but Andrew. I think Andrew and I have a good rapport with each other. I think working together, we could come up with something pretty ridiculous that would just, shock. I mean, Andrew and I probably have two of the most shocking films in PRFF, if not the two most shocking. I feel like the two of us could come up with something that might get both of us canceled. I don't know when is this going to get released. Do you have any idea?
January
Sometime in January.
27th.
Okay. So it should be, I would imagine that everybody will all know this by then, but there's something in the works that's happening. Not the same thing as Mitchell's, not the same thing that Mitchell shared in his podcast. Not that. But there is something that at this point everyone should be aware of it at this point. So there's really no point in me mentioning it. But just so you know, Matt and I are working on something that will be pretty cool. So Zach and Josiah know about it, but the rest of you, it's going to be a surprise. So I think everybody would be pretty pumped about it now that they know what it is. Probably, maybe they don't know what it is. So I'm not going to say
the
it.
most scripted announcement ever.
So I hope everyone enjoys the thing that I can't say, but if you're listening to this, then you probably already know what it is. And if you don't know what it is, then you're going to find out. And surprise, there's something coming that's going to be pretty cool.
That's the worst announcement ever.
It should be something that if I do get canceled, should be something cool enough to where I can get uncanceled for it.
There we go.
All
right. Well,
the PRFFP, where announcements come and don't, reveal anything.
They don't land.
Yeah, we don't want to reveal anything.
This has been the PRFFP, and I'm just hanging out
with my family. Couldn't really
Awesome.
clap there. My hand is holding the phone.